Welcome back or welcome. Some people are doing the whole 10 hours, some are doing a few hours, some are doing one or whatever is inspiring you to do right now. So let's just come back into awareness of this is a practice. This is something that we're doing together. And it's also something, of course, that we're doing individually. I know a few people here are doing this together in person. Uh, and most of us are doing this on our own without any other beings in the room, and some are doing it. There's a few people. So, however it is that you're doing this, bring it to mind and bring it into your heart that you're here doing a practice. And if this is your only one today, then that's fine too, of course. So, today, right now, we're going to do a practice of connecting with the earth, fire, water, air, and space. In the yoga tradition, we talk about space as ether. It's one of the elements, and it can be not talked about as space of awareness. Everything is arising in the space of awareness. And it can also be considered an element of its own. And in the work that we're going to do today, or the approach that we're going to do today, is more of a nature-based approach. And we're going to come into awareness of Earth Mother and all the elements and see where that takes us. The next hour, we're taking a break from a formal practice, and we're going to hopefully you can have you're in a location where you can go into nature and spend some time in nature. But this hour, we're doing it in our mind. And maybe you're lucky enough you're also sitting outside. That could be true for some of you. So let's take a moment to notice the space we're in and notice the practice that we're doing. Notice if you feel safe in your body right now. One of the beautiful things about doing a longer period of silence, like a silence retreat like this, is that our nervous system starts to really settle and we start to have more access to stillness in the mind. It starts to build up. So we might have only had, um, a certain level of depth, and then we notice that we're starting to get deeper and a little deeper and a little deeper. So that's something that's very common during an extended retreat of silence. And it's also something that we don't get to um, ask for on demand, so to speak. So sometimes that happens, but sometimes in a silent experience, we're noticing there's a lot of thoughts coming in, especially if there's something going on right now in our life, in our body. And um, we also have ways to come in and pay more attention and let thoughts about the past or the future go into the background. And one of the ways that we do that is we give the mind something else to focus on. So as we're looking around, we're establishing that we're in a position of enough safety that we can do a practice. And then we're going to pull on our body memories of being in nature, of that connection. That's one of the relationships, one of the relationships that I've really been working with is my relationship with Earth Mother and the elements. And all my life, I've felt very nourished in nature. And yet, there's always this opportunity for a deeper relationship, more connection, more listening. That's what we were doing last hour. So, what comes to mind for you when you think about your relationship with nature, with Mother Earth? One of the things, of course, could be that our environment is in trouble. So that might be part of what's here. It also is true that often nature is beautiful and in silence. And there's all of the sounds of nature as well, birds and wind and waves and all of the different sounds in nature. So, as much as possible, to try to stay in the bodily experience, we're using the mind as well, of course, but to try not to go into thoughts about catastrophic thinking, because even though it's true that there's a lot going on Mother Earth right now, environmentally, part of what we're doing here is a connection practice. One of the reasons for that is because we're not inspired to protect what we don't care about and what we're not connected with. And so part of the power of this practice is that we come into connection and that we nourish ourselves through that connection, but that also we develop through that connection. So if you're comfortable closing your eyes or letting your gaze be soft, let's come into connection with our physical body as it is right now and notice how you're connected with Earth. It might be through your feet, you might be standing on the Earth. For me, Earth is bedrock about a foot below my feet. But even if you're in a tall building, the Earth is what's supporting the building. So let your awareness flow down from your head, your thoughts, down into your body and through your legs and into your feet and into the earth. And once we get below the surface layer of the earth, the soil, and that soil might be a very small layer, it might be a really deep layer. You could bring to mind what's in your specific location or also a broader awareness of other places you've been where there's been a lot of soil. And as we move our awareness down from our body into the earth, let yourself come to a little less hurry, a little bit more time spaciousness. The earth breathes, it moves, it experiences energy, sensations, and it happens at a much different pace than our minds, our daily life. So, just as we're coming into this awareness of earth, let yourself slow down and sense into the soil. What's in the soil? There's little rocks, there's roots, fungi, little connections, mycosial layer. There's a lot going on in the earth. And right on the surface, there might be grasses or trees, moss, might be a wild area, it might be a cultivated area. Let yourself kind of settle into seeing it and feeling and sensing into what is it that's just below the surface of the soil. And then as we go down even further, we notice that there's rock, there's aquifers of water, there's space, empty space. And imagine for now that you're a drop of water deep in the earth, and let yourself rise up to the surface, coming out into the air at the top of a mountain in a little trickle of water, letting yourself be aware. Here I am in the open air now. I'm flowing along with a bunch of other water droplets. I'm in a little rivulet, a little creek coming from the top of the mountain. The sun, the air, the space of the sky. And as I start to flow down the mountain, there's other water that begins to join this little stream. Now I'm part of this flow of water. We're flowing over the soil, the rocks, the plants. Take your time. This is a meandering stream at this point. What are you noticing as you're gently flowing down this mountain? You flow through a meadow. The flow slows. There's wildflowers you can see and feel and smell in the air. There's a gentle, gentle breeze. And as the water flows into a small lake, you can feel the air as it gently blows on the surface of the lake, rippling the surface. The sun is warm, the water is warm. Notice there might be animals coming to the sides of this little pond, drinking, washing. Let yourself rest here for a moment. Just this peaceful awareness of water in this little pond, this lake, in a meadow on the mountain with the flowers. It's spring or summer, the flowers are blooming. Notice the animals that might be coming to share this water. There's some clouds in the sky. There's also the sun. There's the element of air that's moving the water around. And then as you're coming towards one end of the pond, the elevation starts to drop a little again, and now the water is flowing. The stream is a bit larger now. We're flowing a little faster. Maybe we go through a little area where there's some rapids. Other water sources are coming in from the sides, and we're now pretty fair-sized creek flowing down the mountain. And we get to another larger flow of water, a river. And now we're joining this larger flow, bouncing along. Sometimes we settle and go very slow for a while. And then the pace picks up. The ground drops below us. We go over a waterfall. And then we drift along for a while. Notice the elements, the water as it flows around any rocks or obstacles, the air, the surface of the soil that we're flowing over, rocks and moss and water plants. Maybe there's fish and frogs and other animals, other beings in the water with us. And then we eventually come to a larger body of water into the ocean. Without any hesitation, we're being welcomed into this larger body of water, into the ocean. It's a little saltier here. We have that element as well. Let yourself be carried along on the surface of the ocean. For a while, the ocean is almost as still as the lake. And then the wind just starts to pick up. The waves start to get wilder and choppier. You might ride along on the surface, feeling that exhilaration of the water moved by the air. We might let ourselves go deep into the stillness of the ocean. The other beings in the ocean with us. And then we're allowing ourselves to be drawn up out of the ocean and into the clouds, the darkness of the clouds, or the white, bright light of the clouds in a blue sky as the storm starts to clear. Feeling the warmth of the sun, the heat of the sun, the fire starts to evaporate the clouds. And this water molecule that we are is just floating around in the sky for a while. There's some other water droplets here as well. We're in a light cloud now. Letting ourselves drift with the air, aware of the sky, of the space. And then as more water droplets come together, there's a small rain shower, and we're coming back down onto the earth. We're right over top of a forest right now. The water lands on the trees, on the leaves, trickles down into the soil. As we come back into the soil, we notice all of the life in the soil. The roots of the trees as they're signaling each other, passing nutrients back and forth. The moisture in the soil. And imagine that your body, that you are lying on your back on the soil, the soft bed of moss in the forest. Your body is completely relaxed and safe. And notice the element of water, that journey that we just took from the soil along that little rivulet from the top of the mountain down through to the ocean, up into the clouds, back down to the earth. Notice the water element in your physical body right now. All of the little water droplets that are in our body. They're in our bloodstream, our digestive system, our brain. They come in as humidity when we breathe into our lungs. Notice all of the water in your body and extend your awareness into the water. Thank you. Thank you for being here in my body and allowing me to have the juiciness of your water, your moisture, for allowing my body to live, to digest my food, to operate my brain. Thank you to all the water in my body. I appreciate water. And bring your awareness into the element of earth in your body and the element of earth supporting your body as well. In the soil, there might be bones of little animals. In our body, we have bones. Everything's solid in our body, even though there's air and water and fire in our body as well. Right now, we're tuning in and connecting with the element of earth. Let yourself rest in your body. Let your body be supported by the earth. I feel grateful. I feel gratitude and appreciation for the earth in my body and the earth supporting my body. Let yourself feel that without words, that gratitude, that connection, earth in my body, and the earth supporting my body. When I walk on the earth, I walk on the earth. It's not just something there that I step over. I'm walking on earth. And if I'm walking up a stiff climb, if it's steep, maybe I'm using my hands to hold on to roots and other rocks or something to climb up. Or I might come to a clearing and I have a favorite rock that I like to sit on or even lie back on. Let yourself feel that warm, solid support of the earth. I appreciate the earth element, the earth in my body, Mother Earth. I notice perhaps the sun is warming the rock that I'm on. It's warming my body, it's keeping me warm and alive. When we're in the forest, we might be seeing the sunlight through the trees, through the leaves and the branches. After a rain or after a dew or fog, there's all those tiny water droplets sparkling in the sun. There's such beauty. I appreciate those moments of feeling the beauty of the earth, the water, of the sky, of the fire. When we tune into earth, water, and then fire in our body, we might notice the digestive fire. It's how we process the food that we eat. We get the nutrients. The nutrients in the food come with the fire to digest them. As we're laying back on this rock in the forest, feeling the sun on our body, we might express appreciation for the fire, for the sun that shines on the trees, that evaporates water up into the clouds and then comes back to the earth. The water that we bring into our bodies through drinking and through the air. And for the fire in our spirit, our juiciness, our passion in life. I extend gratefulness, gratitude to the fire in my spirit. As I'm sitting in the sun and letting my body be warm and nourished, I notice a cool breeze. The air is coming back. I'm feeling a little warm, and here comes the air to cool me, the breeze, the wind. And as the wind picks up, I might turn back into that little water droplet again and soar up into the sky. Let myself be carried in the wind around the earth, soaring, dipping and diving and moving in all different kinds of ways. We catch a ride on the head of an eagle. Let myself soar in the wind and feel the power of the wind beneath the body of the eagle, through the feathers. And then that water droplet comes to a cloud again and forms as rain. Comes back down onto the earth, onto your body as you're lying on that rock. That cooling water of the rain. And as we breathe, we notice the element of air and water, the humidity that comes into our lungs. But the element of air provides this nourishment through the air that we breathe in, the oxygen. Again, we're connecting with the trees, with the forest, the plants, the sun, the photosynthesis, bringing the food, creating the oxygen that we need to breathe. As you're laying back on this broad rock, completely relaxed in your whole body, breathe in deeply. I appreciate the air that I breathe. I appreciate the oxygen created by the trees, the plants. I breathe in their oxygen and I breathe out the CO2 that they breathe in through their leaves, their plants. I let myself rest in this awareness of the blessing of oxygen, the blessing of the forest, of the plants, of the trees, of this exchange of oxygen and CO2, this exchange of nutrients. I'm grateful for the air that I breathe, the air that cools my skin. I notice the energy field of my body, the space of my body. Space of awareness. I have a body, I have all the elements in my body. I'm made from earth and water, fire and air, and I am more than my body. I am also the awareness, the field of awareness right here. I am the earth, the water, the air, the fire. When I walk on Mother Earth, I'm aware of the elements of water, earth, fire, air. I know myself as that. Part of this field of energy of Earth Mother. And sometimes my awareness goes deep into the soil, into the rock and the roots, the little animals, the water. Sometimes it rises up and flows in a stream, sparkling in the sunlight. I know myself to be the elements. I'm grateful for the elements of earth, for the water in my body that I breathe in the air, the fire of the sun that warms me. I'm aware of the connection within me, with the earth around me, under me, through me, dancing on the waves, floating in the sky. Settling back into stillness. I am the earth, the water, the air, the fire. I am the awareness. As we come towards the completion of the practice, bringing that back into your awareness, the earth, water, air, the fire in my body and in Earth Mother. All the elements are present in awareness. Sometimes we're that water droplet that comes up to the surface and flows along the creek into the meadow, down into the ocean. We're the water in the air, evaporated by the sun, being nourishing for the trees. This connection of earth with ourselves. Notice the feeling of connection and perhaps of gratitude, appreciation for the beautiful complexity of human life, of our human life. Our connection with Earth Mother. And when you're out on the earth and you're walking or laying on a rock or swimming or whatever you're doing, dancing on the waves, bring this back. Just bring it in as a sense, as an energy, as an awareness from time to time. What is it that I'm walking on? What's underneath the soil right here? What is the energy of that rock that's warming my body as I lay on it? Or the trees with the oxygen. Let yourself come back into connection over and over and over. We're not separate from the earth. We can realize that through awareness. Take a breath. What happens now in our 10 hours? It's a time for a break. We're going to be back not at the top of this hour, but at the top of the next one. Our next practice is the layers of being, the five koshas, a meditation practice. In the meantime, we have an hour and a quarter before we meet again. If you have an opportunity to get outside, however that might look for you, it's a beautiful time to do that and be silent in nature and listen and connect in the ways that we just have. And I will see you in an hour and a quarter if you can come back for the next part. Thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed that practice. I know I did. All right, bye for now.